The only thing we have to
Beer.
is
Beer.
itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters, where we're going to bring you the news and reviews of some wonderful brews. My name is Dan Baker, joined as usual by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hafner.
and of course the demented and fermented
Wayne Baker.
Now today we have traveled to
Lititz.
Pennsylvania, which means we're at Rocklititz, which I did not know what this place was until we got here, and I think it's super
awesome.
cool. It's really cool. There's the stuff from the wall, and there's cannons from AC/DC out there, and people much more famous than I, which is like everybody, have been here.
I love this place. There's stuff on the wall.
There's stuff on the walls, but we're here for a very specific reason. We are here at Fetish Brewing, which means we have two guys with us who were kind enough to donate some time and, from what I've been told, beer to us. But gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourselves, we have with us
Brandon.
and
Mike.
Gentlemen, thank you for having us out here.
Wait, you said your real names.
That's true. I thought we
Did
weren't
we?
using real names. That's right. We were pretty much supposed to say not Aaron and not Aaron 2.
Can we get carded? Can we do that again?
Take two.
If you want. So we have with us, and they're not. Yeah.
I'll be Steve.
Steve?
Aaron. Yeah.
Steve,
I'm the brewer. No, you're not Aaron.
I'm not Aaron.
Steve is normally my go-to.
You're going to be screwed.
We make the water hot.
We do make the water.
I know.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it.
I'm very excited to be here. I'm pretty sure at some point Steph has shared Fetish beers with us before.
Yeah, we've had Fetish
Yeah,
beers
we've had
on the
Fetish
show.
on the show.
That's why I thought I remembered it. There's a lot I want to get to, but of course, don't forget, for anyone out there in podcast land, you can interact with us online. You can do the whole the Twitter or Instagram thing. We're at Beerbusters on both, or type in your Facebook searchy bar thing, Beerbusters Podcast.
Our Graham game is on point.
Mostly Steph.
Are we going to be taking live calls?
We do have a phone
We
number.
do have a phone number. In
We
fact,
can take calls, but they won't be live.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
This is all pre-recorded.
Hey, wait a couple minutes and then call in.
All right, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't ring. It goes to a voicemail.
First-time listener, long-time caller. Wait.
Yeah. That phone number, in fact, is 805-991-BEER, which is 805-991-2337. Somebody's phone did go off, and it was not mine.
That was mine.
Do we have? Is it? Who's calling us?
It's my wife who texted me, yes, and then left the poo
I think
emoji.
I think it's
Is
the
that
poo.
The
emoji.
poo. Oh,
Chocolate ice cream.
we have
believe
poop.
that's poo.
It's not ice cream.
Don't eat that.
It's also digital, so you can't.
That's true. Well, you could. It would just hurt. And, of course, you can go to patreon.com/beerbusters, where you would have access to all sorts of behind-the-scenes goodies.
Yes, and we have some exciting patron news coming up in our patron
We do.
shout-out portion today. So,
And for those of us who are kind enough to be on the patron list, you get, of course, access to Last Call, where we are super-duper... Well, you have to
it
find
is
out how inebriated
our
we are.
shenanigan-laden
It's our after show.
bonus after-show
In the
segment
time of after shows.
of the podcast that only patrons get
This
to
is
hear.
ours. Beerbusters Last Call. Only available to those of us who are awesome and on our Patreon. So thank you to you guys out there in the patron land. Now we have a sipping beer, which I haven't actually
We do.
started sipping on yet.
It's delicious.
What is this beer?
You can drink it faster if you want.
I could.
It's a good chugger.
Yeah.
It's a chugger, huh?
It's a sesh.
a sesh.
So, guys, what are we drinking?
I don't know.
Let me check.
It's the Wild American Blonde Fetish from 2015.
Yeah. So this is a 3-year barrel-aged sour that we began working on in 2013. We released in 2015 and has been bottle conditioning since.
Hey, that's only 2 years.
It took us 3 years to release it.
Oh, yeah.
There was a 3-year period.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And am I right about? Is this the beer that started
That
all
broke the internet?
That broke
the
brewery?
No,
No,
we broke.
No, that's a different story.
No, that was just putting in a new water line. Well, we've broken the brewery a few times, but specifically which break?
I mean, the brewery that began the tasting room that broke the brewery.
Yes.
Yes, this is the beer. This is the beer that began our path to Rocklititz.
Very nice, very nice. This is really, really good.
I think it was the first fetish beer that I ever had, actually. And it definitely made me interested and made me discover where Ice Street was, or Ice Avenue, Ice Street.
Ice Avenue.
Ice Avenue in Lancaster.
It's next to Electric Avenue.
That's probably not good because ice is conductive, isn't it?
You can just rock down to it.
I was waiting for somebody to do
Or
it.
you could slide down it.
Boogie, woogie, woogie.
I'm going to stop.
Yeah, we probably should.
It's going to be the longest episode ever if we don't stop.
Yeah.
Well, in that vein, then let's do this.
Is that news music?
That is news music
For the universal music for news.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
new-
pretty much.
For news or for news?
News. Hear it.
News.
Well, this is Dan's segment, so I hope it's news.
Do we have to take
I
that?
For
like
everyone's sake, yes, it is. It is
Take my
news.
shirt
There's
off.
no D. Oh,
Wait, we were going to do this episode naked, I believe.
How long till they turn our mics off?
It takes a lot.
it does. I've only
takes
ever
an
done that
awful
like
lot.
twice.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
And I think once was to me.
Dan's
it was
segment.
Yes.
Goals.
Tangent. I actually one time got really drunk at like a county fair type thing and did a karaoke duet to Billy Joel's The Piano Man with our mutual cousin Tom, and was so drunk and forgot the words and kept swearing, and they actually turned my mic off.
Wow.
I also remember when we were in high school and we went to Hershey Park and we went down the flume ride, and you flipped the double bird to the camera and they deleted our picture.
It was up for a couple seconds.
Yep.
So Dan, what's going on in the world of
Yeah.
news?
Way back in the before days when I had time to write things, I wrote an article about musical beers.
I remember that.
And one of the breweries that is very famous for doing things like this is, of course, Dogfish Head. Well, they have announced a new beer for 2018 as a musical collaboration.
Is it a hot carrot beer?
Hot Thoop,
It's not Hot Thoop, no.
which came with a carrot in it, and it was actually quite good, I will say.
No, it wasn't.
It.
No, it wasn't.
Ooh,
I liked it.
That's not
Oh,
true.
debate.
man.
Point counterpoint.
Well, this one will be with the Flaming Lips. And as the article goes on to mention, Flaming Lips are anything but your traditional rock band, and now they've teamed up with the quote-unquote off-centered team at Dogfish Head to create a collaboration beer. It's going to be called Dragons and Yum Yums. It will be a 6.5% ABV pale ale that Dogfish Head describes as a lip-smackingly tart and intensely tropical beer. The brewers added a ton of tropical taste to the recipe, including dragon fruit, yumberry, passion fruit,
And
pear
a
juice,
starburst.
and black carrot juice. And Starburst.
What color Starburst?
All of them.
Chartreuse.
Which one's the bad one?
Is that an actual color?
Aren't
of
they
Starburst?
all bad?
It's an actual
some of them
color.
are
I don't know
pretty
if it's
good.
color of
Some are good.
Starburst.
The
lemon's not that great,
that's true. Yeah,
which is surprisingly blue.
Is Dan's segment sponsored? Is this a sponsored segment?
It's sponsored by Starbucks. I was going to say Starbucks. It's sponsored by Starbucks.
Yeah, I mean it should be. I need
Nope.
a damn coffee. According to Sam Calgione, our brewery has been obsessed with music since the day we opened.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's terrible.
Their art is a
Wait a minute. Wait, hang on. Let's just talk about. Can we just talk about this?
Sure, let's talk about it. Let's talk
Our
about it.
brewery has been obsessed with music. What is that?
But not beer.
What does that even mean?
I think
So he's the guy that's like really into music. Thanks, Sam.
it might just be that he likes music.
Hey, you know what I'm really into? Music. Oh my gosh.
You know what
Hey,
I
me
like?
too.
Breathing. It's great.
Can't wait to see that
And guys,
3-minute video on his website.
Have you ever
Guys,
tried sleeping?
So into music.
Sleeping is the best thing.
Mike's a big fan of sleeping.
Sleeping is great.
God.
These are some hot takes right here. This is how you get downloads.
That is, yeah. The Milton, Delaware brewery has partnered with musicians in the past, including Miles Davis.
Wait. Musicians?
Musicians, yeah.
This is great.
I know.
Finally, a brewery that's partnered with
I know.
musicians. Tell me more.
The Grateful Dead and Pearl Jam. Dragons and Yum Yums is set to be out in April 2018.
Well,
Go music.
You guys are in a very unique spot here.
Oh, we love
for
music.
people that. Well,
That's
and
why we're here. We actually, when we started
would
the
you
brewery,
say
it's
you're
interesting.
obsessed with music?
I think what we said early on was we like beer
I've listened
and
to it.
we enjoy music.
I've heard some.
Can we find a way?
To listen to beer
Is there some way
and
that
drink music.
I want to hear more about what unique spot we're in.
What's interesting is we spent a lot of time looking at other breweries and none of them had music. And so we just thought, let's get some music.
When you say a lot, how many?
Thousands.
Did you-
we
did
actually,
you
we-
actually-
we spent about, was it a month or two driving cross country? Looking
Wow.
for breweries that had music.
And you found not one.
It was amazing. It's
Wow.
a very unique spot in the market.
I would have thought that someone else would have come up with that idea before.
Yeah.
When we went to Anheuser-Busch, there was
nothing.
There was no music.
I'm surprised they weren't sponsored by Kiss.
That would have been cool.
I feel it feels like a AB type of band.
Yeah.
You think? I think if AB was going to collaborate with a band, I think it would probably be Kiss.
Yeah, I mean,
And it kind of just feels right. Or AC/DC, but didn't that guy just die?
yeah, one of the members did.
Yeah.
Kiss could do it because they have a lot of merchandise. They have made a lot of money over the years. They're right up Baby's alley.
Any other news?
I thought that sentence was going to end differently.
I thought so too.
I had another story, but I'm going to go with this one instead. We all at the table know
Based on the crowd.
The other one was also a music and beer collaboration. I was like, this is not the room for that.
We can't-
out the
Is there
window.
a third brewery into music?
Are we?
Is this going to happen?
We're not allowed to haze the news.
No, you can
No,
hate
I'm
it.
enjoying
quite all right,
this.
yeah.
I like the news hazing. I think it should be a new thing from now on.
Yes, it should. So we all at the table know what green beer is when you're talking about beer that is fresh out of the fermenter.
Correct.
It's
I
beer,
like-
it's
you
beer
had
they
to-
serve on St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, there's that. Well, there is a beer out of a brewery in Ohio that is green, physically green, but not for St. Patrick's Day. The Ohio brewery made this kiwi color double IPA for a much more noble cause, because there was one day in August of 2014, 500,000 people who get their water from Toledo, Ohio, which is right next to Lake Erie. They found out that their water was undrinkable and was green. The culprit was a dangerous toxin from an algae bloom growing in Lake Erie. So, Maumee Bay Brewing Company released the ALG beer, which is a 7.5% ABV sour double IPA that has a green tint of Ecto Cooler. Yeah, so it might be green, but unlike the 2014 Toledo water, it's 100% drinkable. The idea was born out of a partnership between the brewery and the Ohio Environmental Council. One of our local beer friends and aficionados, Nicholas Mandros, who works for the Ohio Environmental Council, and they wanted to do a project together to raise awareness of the importance of water in brewing. So it is physically green. They used, here we go, brewers made the first batch of algae beer on a small 12-gallon system. They plan to brew the next one on a larger scale to have a larger event that focuses on it. Where was the ingredients? I must have skipped over that.
Algae,
Algae. Yeah,
hops,
of course.
water, barley yeast, algae.
We made a beer once with crayfish pee in it.
Did you really?
Oh,
We actually, that's
Yeah,
a real thing.
not
That's a real thing?
Yeah.
What sort of characters does that impart to a beer? Was there a reason you decided to do that?
I
Oh,
have
did it?
so many questions.
There was a crayfish in the bottom of the bucket, and
We were like,
of
look at
water.
that. Look at that.
And you're like,
Look at
oh, hey.
We harvested fresh water from a Lancaster Conservancy park. We brought it home to brew with it, and we found a crayfish in it, and we thought,
Probably peed.
Probably peed.
Sorry, guys.
they're
That's
very
a safe bet.
small.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
They don't even really taste like
I
nothing.
mean, you boil it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
Totally sterilized.
fine.
Yeah,
It's
everything
fine.
is
Alcohol
set up.
content, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's like licking an alcohol swab.
I wish we'd called it ALG.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty
Could've
clever.
beat them
you
to
would
the
have
punch.
sold a lot more.
Brandon, can I ask you a question?
Algae.
Do you find in our marketing that we lack enough beer puns? Do you feel as though we should do a better job of punning out our beer a little bit?
It's not something we're good at.
I don't know.
I
I think Wild American Blonde is pretty choice.
I like Wild American
I
Blondes.
look at the breweries with their puns, and I think, how do they keep coming up with them?
It's almost like the jokes write themselves, I think,
know,
for those
it's
beers.
amazing.
Sometimes, yeah.
It's almost like you could take all of those ridiculous names and make some sort of goofy game out of it.
You
Almost.
guys have more creative ways of grabbing attention from the public.
It's certainly not the way we name our stuff. It's pretty,
We do.
It's
Yeah.
pretty dry.
Yeah.
FYI, I found the ingredients. They used matcha powder and they used kiwi for the taste, and that's all I'm going to say about it. Because
You mean matcha?
matcha,
Like the green
yes,
tea powder?
someone
Oh, yeah.
mispronounced something and it wasn't me.
yeah. Remember, you'll be a little more liquored up next time. I'm totally sober right
No,
now.
matcha was super trendy like 2 weeks ago, and now nobody cares
No,
anymore.
I even had something with matcha tea about 2 weeks ago. You're right; it was trendy then.
Yeah.
It's good for your bowels.
They could have called it matcha.
Oh, that
Pichu
explains a
beer.
lot then.
That's not funny. Don't laugh
It
at
is
No.
funny.
Don't.
It is,
No.
it is funny.
ALG was
It's
so
funny.
much better.
Don't laugh at that.
LG.
It's funny.
ALG was so much better.
It's funny.
Well, that is all I had in the world of news.
Thank God.
Thanks, Dan. I was
Thank God.
I was waiting to see how they were going to try and shit on the Environmental Conservancy Agency after all the hazing of the first story, and there was just nothing.
No, we're totally down with those guys.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We love Lake Erie.
Yep.
It was Lake Erie, right?
I
It
never
was
been
Lake
there.
Erie,
Wasn't
yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
I was
Good
thinking
water.
about making
I've
fun
also
of-
never been there, so
It's good water.
You know, since the first day I tasted a beer, I was really into music.
You're never going to let that go.
Oh, it's such a profound statement.
Well, I feel like
It's the artistry. I think the thing that I really like is the artistry. It's that he can be interdisciplinary.
My only
right?
concern
I like
is that-
he's working across media.
my only concern is that when we have the opportunity to work with like large bands, that we won't handle it as gracefully.
I'm worried that we're not making it clear that we also enjoy music.
So, if you want to work with a large band, what large band do you want to work with besides Kiss?
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Wind and Fire. All right,
Perfect.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
No.
That's not real.
Is Huey Lewis still touring?
I think so.
yes. Rich is
Not
a big
him.
Huey
I hate
Lewis
him.
fan.
His music is terrible.
He was in a karaoke movie once that I liked.
With Gwyneth Paltrow.
yeah.
It's called Duet. I think.
He also had a cameo in Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And he's on the soundtrack.
Obviously.
He's got to go back in time.
Got to go back
Which-
in time.
Favorite Huey Lewis song?
Obviously, everybody likes I Want a New Drug, right? And the classic... there's
Isn't that the Ghostbusters ripped off song? No, the other way around.
I don't know. You mean by Ray Parker Jr.? You feel like Ray Parker Jr. is biting Huey Lewis?
The Ghostbusters theme sounds an awful lot. I think it's "I Want a New Drug."
I think you're thinking of Ice Ice Baby.
No, that's under pressure.
Oh.
By Queen.
Queen.
Doom, doom, doom.
No, but his is different
And David
because
It's got the other ding.
it's got
Yeah.
one,
Everyone
it's
has
got one
seen
more
that
ding.
one
interview.
different ding.
It's got one more ding.
Everybody's got a different ding.
Everybody's
Hashtag
got a
true.
different ding.
Not all dings.
Hashtag not all dings.
Well, I mean, you guys have access to big bands and artists that come through here at Rock Lidditz.
Not
Well,
really.
and-
They keep that shit locked down.
Well, I mean, you have closer proximity than somebody like me.
For people that don't know what Rock Lidditz is,
Oh,
dare I ask you to
I'm
actually
not sure. I'm not
answer a
sure.
serious
I'm not sure we're
question?
allowed to actually answer that because we might screw it up. Like they're a little. They're kind of serious about the way that they brand that.
Rock Lidditz is a live performance industry hub. How about that?
Okay.
There you
Yeah,
go. That's
like
fair.
that?
That
Yeah.
sounds.
That's
yeah,
very.
that sounds-
I could see that on their website.
That's broadcastable.
Yeah.
Can we or can I at least say that there is a Pod 1, as it were? Is that what it's called?
I don't think there's any
There isn't
actual
a Pod
Pod
one.
1. This is Pod 2.
Okay. Well, the other building that we're not allowed to speak of.
That's called the studio.
This one goes to 2.
Yeah.
Wait, is there not a 1 or a 3? Is there just a pod?
Just
2?
Pod 2.
Just Pod 2.
So there's no other numbers involved. There's
Don't
just pod 2.
don't think about it.
All right, no, I like it.
So, but music acts will come to prepare for tours in that building.
I don't know if we're
I
even
feel
allowed to
like
talk
that's,
about, like,
but
what's
isn't
this-
that
Here's
public
what here's
knowledge?
what we can.
Sure. Go
Sure.
ahead. You do it.
So Rock Lidditz is
Say your full name first. So
It's
you
a
take full
campus
responsibility
that
for
has
this.
28 companies.
Okay.
28 companies are on this campus. 21 of which are live performance industry companies, and 7 are outward-facing companies, like the Bike Works and like Gravy. It's Gravy.
Gravy. Yep.
It's
gravy, man.
The
The
food
restaurant.
place
Yeah.
and
I saw rock climbing
the
going
Rock
on over
Rack,
there.
yep,
Rock
and
Rack.
the Fetish Brewing Company.
And Tone Taylors, which
Tone Taylors.
well, you can buy guitars or get guitar lessons or any other guitar
Sure.
stuff.
And then I believe, there's
Oh,
rumors.
there's a yoga place.
That's
You
right.
can get stretched.
Power,
Of course
is it
there's-
Power
You
yoga.
can go get stretched out.
Power yoga.
Evolution.
Evolution.
Yeah.
Evolution Power Yoga.
Yes, I think
Yeah,
that's
there
the
it
full
is.
name.
Yeah, we got there.
EPY.
Yeah. And I believe, yes, it's fair to say that large tours before they head out come here to do things
Yep.
here.
I never really thought of a thing like that, though. Like, obviously, these bigger acts have to put on a giant spectacle to make it an all-around performance. But I never thought of like the logistics of practicing the lighting and the pyrotechnics and the fireworks and all that shit.
If
Well,
you
and
had,
it's
just
not
think of
just-
how much wealthier you'd be if you had.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
And he had a time machine.
Some of the companies here, though, are the companies that create that. Would that be the correct verb?
Or the companies that
like the
support
lighting
that.
companies
Yeah.
and the sound. Like
There's a lot of peripheral.
yeah.
Yeah, they
Stuff that happens.
they make the whole thing. They design it. They build it. They
'Cause didn't
rehearse
some of
it,
the
they-
companies here put together some of the stuff for the Super Bowl or something? I read somewhere.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
There are companies involved in Rock Lidditz, yes, that have done things like the Super Bowl and the Pope and whatever.
The Super Bowl and the Pope. That's a good resume. I mean,
Well, and
that's-
as
and
our
other such acts.
There might have been like
Acts
a Van Halen concert in there somewhere. I don't know.
I
famous
think-
acts such as.
Well, I think our listeners know that my husband Rich is quite obsessed with Katy Perry, and
Swish, swish, bish.
through her social media accounts, it was obvious to the public that she was here preparing and rehearsing before her tour. So, of course, Rich and I may or may not have several times driven by stalking her while she was here. But she was posting that she was out in Lidditz and in Lancaster, and there was pictures of her at the Olive Garden in Lancaster. I'm not even joking you. And
We're on tap
but
there, by
she
the way.
put together a cool video of inside whatever you want to call it, Pod 1. And it was interesting to see. I'm trying to have actually a serious conversation
You were, I know.
about Katy Perry.
about Katy
About
Perry.
Katy
yeah.
Perry, as serious
Just
as you
showing
can.
how they
It
put
feels
together
like-
the shows and they practice the stage and
Yeah.
all that
You
shit.
know that
Which is cool.
the first stop that they had when they left here on tour was the Dogfish Brewery. And
25 years ago, when I got into craft beer, I discovered music.
Oh God.
Anyway.
The two have been
So-
interrelated ever since.
All right, so I've got a question about.
Do you think he'll include music in his
really
next TV
stuck
show?
on this.
He
Do
really
you think?
is. I know.
Do you think?
I think there
I
will.
feel like we need to just go back to the beginning, though, because there's going to be nothing serious or organized about this. And I
This is
honestly
true.
do want to know,
This
though,
is true. I do
the
want to say
story
one
of
thing.
Fetish.
I
You're not
would
allowed to say
imagine that, much like every other TV show, there will be music of some sort in it.
I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's rewind.
Let's go back
Let's
to the
rewind.
Go back to the beginning.
beginning.
Yeah.
All the way to the beginning.
So if we're going to talk about the
First,
story
there were
of
dinosaurs.
Are they cutting us?
No, first the Earth cooled.
Yeah,
then
yeah.
there were dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Right. There's this loud noise.
somebody called a Big Bang.
And then Aaron was born.
That's way you're skipping over a lot of stuff. But
Well, that's not important.
the story of it. Like, do you want to?
Yeah.
Bore people with that.
There's a couple different elements to it, but the long and the short of it was Brandon and I were friends.
Not true.
Not true. And one night we'd been kind of talking about starting a business together of some sort
And kissing.
and kissing.
Wow.
Not each other. But
We like to
just
talk
the
technique.
Technique. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the back of your hand, it doesn't.
I'm more of a pillow
It doesn't respond.
practicer.
Yeah.
I would say it's either impressive
Dry
that
mouth.
at an age when you would be talking to your friend about kissing techniques,
Yeah.
you were also discussing
No, this was just a couple
business
years ago.
plan.
This
I was going to say,
yeah.
or the
Kind of an
opposite.
ongoing
It's
conversation,
embarrassing
yeah.
that you were old enough to be seriously discussing business
My
plans
wife-
while also comparing kissing
my
techniques.
my wife had been complaining for a while.
I guess I feel like once you think you've mastered something, that's when you really lose the edge, right? And so I like to go back and reconsider my kissing technique.
Yep.
Um,
She says
Angle of
I'm,
approach?
she says I'm like too fast.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Just
Yeah.
kissing.
Mostly just kissing. Yeah.
I use too much nose. Is that's not a technique?
Because getting shit done around the house, I'm way too slow.
Yeah.
I don't think you should be using the nose.
Well, I
at
mean,
all.
I guess we're sure. I guess we can't.
If you want to
can't-
put those kind of limiters on yourself,
guess we can't disagree in this podcast.
So after you guys were done mastering your kissing techniques, and you decided that you were
Again,
gonna,
I want to be clear that we haven't mastered
Or
it. We're
attempting
in
it.
it's an
Attempting.
ongoing process.
Nobody
of
thinks
learning.
we're
you were
good at it.
concurrently talking about
Starting a business.
Starting a
and one night I went out to have drinks with my wife, and we had met Aaron. We'd known Aaron kind of a little bit
Vaguely.
Yeah, we were listening to music together once, and
I don't think that's actually true.
and he was working at a local bar, and he had given me a glass of what would become Ghost Pepper Fetish, which is a
Barely drinkable beer.
No, it's a divine piece of art.
incredibly painful mouth punch of ghost peppers and
And like some coffee.
and hellmouth.
Yeah.
So I drank it and I
It's like
of
chewing on a
course,
centipede.
as most people do when they drink ghost pepper the first time. They're like, "This is great, love it." And I muscled through about 3 sips, called Brandon, and said, "This is the business we should start." The next day, as we like to sort of look back on, I told Brandon that I was incredibly drunk the night that I called him, but it was too late to stop.
Yeah,
The train was already on the tracks.
I'd already agreed, so it was over.
Yeah, so we spent the first year, this is back in 2010 or 11.
Ish, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
We
think-
spent a year every Wednesday night brewing at Aaron's house at his driveway. If it was hot outside, it would be hot outside. If it was cold outside, the three of us would be right around the burners.
I thought you were going to say cold outside.
It would be cold outside. It would be what it was when it was, right?
Because at that time, Mike and I didn't know anything about anything regarding beer or
Yep.
brewing, which is more or less
Basically
still true.
stayed the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not a lot of
Yeah, the whole
learning there, but
we've done our best to stand near a thing and not learn anything from it. I think that's one of the skills that we really bring to the
brewing
business.
is incredibly complicated. I don't think people really understand how
It's-
hard it is.
It's also a little boring.
it takes forever.
That's
Oh,
why
it
you
takes
drink
so
while you
much
brew.
time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
mean-
listen to music.
I mean, I don't play golf because it takes like 3 hours, and
Right.
brewing is
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah.
Longer than that. Yeah.
So we spent a year outside watching Aaron brew and complaining about Aaron and arguing with Aaron, making fun of Aaron's.
We made fun of Aaron a lot.
Yeah. Aaron also tried to name the brewery a number of very Ren Fair style names. There was a lot of really terrible namification.
He was wearing a lot of tights back then.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I could see him in tights, actually.
like PA Foliage Nights
Are the
Brewery.
tights in any way related to the name you eventually settled on?
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't think we know why we settled on it. We just thought it sounded
It was
cool.
the least awful of all the names.
Fair enough.
Although there's
there's still something awful about it.
there is something awful about it, which is that Aaron managed to sneak in artisanal ale in our official name.
We didn't know him well enough to tell him,
Yeah,
fuck no.
that's terrible. That's the worst name I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
And so we call it Fetish Brewing Company, which is actually not the name of the company, but
So
whatever.
what?
We're not going to listen. We're not going to listen to him. So we did it for about a year outdoors, and as we were trying to figure out a way to test our beer and kind of get feedback, we built a little tiny CSA. We found 12 people who we thought would be good
Beer drinkers.
good beer drinkers who would give us good feedback.
It was
and
hard.
Once a month, we would give them free beer, right? And we did that for a while, and then we doubled the size of the CSA, and then we began charging. And we've built the CSA up to, it's usually somewhere between 70 and 80 people. They get 4 beers on the third Thursday of every month, unless it's not on the third Thursday of every month.
They might be on a different Thursday.
Yeah, it depends on when it is. They also
It
get
is what it is when it is.
that's usually true. They also get invited to our summer farm party, Fetish on the Farm, and from that we then bought Ice Avenue and began brewing there and selling retail.
One free handshake.
One free handshake, and now we're pretty rich.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the story.
So, step 1, step 2, step 3, Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the underwear gnomes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny that Rich looked up from his phone when I said that in the corner.
So now
Underwear?
that you have the location here at Rock Lidditz, are you still going to continue the CSA? Is that something that's...
Yeah, the CSA I think is kind of part of what we do. We've kind of built this community of, again, 70 or 80 people who are good for our brand, who kind of get exactly what we're trying to do, who put up with us. Probably 2/3 of the CSA re-up every year. So we have a couple members who've been in since the very beginning.
Mm-hmm. Well, how much does it cost to be part of it then?
$200. Yeah.
It's not terrible. It's actually a pretty good deal.
We should have said more.
$300.
$300.
$500.
How does that sound?
I mean, either way, it's too rich for my blood.
Now that you have I don't want to call it larger because technically it's a smaller space, but more space, a second space, are you going to increase the spaces in the CSA, or are you looking more to sell more beer out of this space or distribute more? What's the plan?
Can we stick to questions that we thought about the answers to before
Nope.
you...
Come on, this is hard-hitting journalism.
We should write this down and make a business plan.
What do you want to say to that?
We're in the process of discussing all possibilities for things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a very politician.
Our-
So how about this question then?
Here's our rule of. Can I tell you our rule of thumb?
Yes.
Our rule of thumb over 7 years has been the less we do, the bigger the brewery gets. Right. So as long as
Interesting.
we don't make decisions or think,
Right.
right,
If it seems like a good idea, we shouldn't do it.
we'll wait. We'll
Yeah.
wait it out.
Yep.
You just
You let
stand
it-
in the corner while beer is being made, and somehow
Almost everything is accidental.
things just continue to happen.
Yeah.
That's
True.
That's impressive.
That's how we got here.
Okay, let me give you a more immediate question then. When people are able to finally come into this space, which any moment now, right?
Phrasing.
What can a patron expect when they walk in the door here?
Frustration.
How do you feel right now?
Well, how about this? Are you going to have taps? Because I know at
We
the...
got a hole right behind you.
Yeah. They're
Yes, but we are not on a video in front of microphones. Our guests, our listeners can't see that.
But okay.
Well, if they want to know how many taps I have.
How many
we
taps
should
do you have?
Come by here. 14.
14.
Holy crap.
Too many.
That's a lot.
Like, we want to be on record as saying that's
Way too many.
too damn many.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to use them all.
The original idea was
We
to
won't.
have one, and it would be Schlitz.
Yeah.
Right.
Turns out
You can't do
we
that.
can't do
It's
that.
actually illegal.
Yeah.
You can have Pennsylvania beers. What's the Pennsylvania Schlitz? Yingling?
Fetish.
If we get better at what we do.
Is that your goal?
If we could aspire to be
to become the Pennsylvania Schlitz.
So people will be able to come here and drink beer from a tap. Will they be able to get flights?
Whoa,
No,
no.
you can't put your mouth on
That's-
tap.
that's
That's
also
not
illegal. You can't do
sanitary.
that.
And like
No, no,
that's
no.
I love how you
straight
both
up.
went for that.
We'll put it in a glass.
I think I'm done asking questions.
I think one of the things here is that we know the law maybe better than you guys do, right? And so
That's
This is
fair.
a moment where I'll tell you that
we should
you
just
can't,
guide you. We'll
Yeah.
guide you.
You can't.
What
just,
if I attach a hose to the tap? Can I drink from the hose?
Can I then put
So
that
many
hose
problems with this. I know.
Yeah.
in a large glass vessel that I can then fill and put a cap on and take home? to
You're putting a
drink?
cap on. Oh, I see what you're doing.
We're
gonna have a crowler.
We're sort of anti-growler.
Yeah.
But oddly pro-crowler.
Yeah, we've
enough.
had a lot of. What's funny about opening up a brewery is the number of people that reach out to you to try to like sell you something.
Yeah.
And we've had this weird online relationship with a very aggressive growler company who won't leave us alone. And at one point in time, we said, "Listen, we don't like growlers, and we're never going to sell growlers. Please leave us alone." And then he wrote back and said, "Well, why?" And we were like, "We like this is
dude.
We don't want to.
This is the problem."
When you make 4 ounces of beer a year, like it's hard to sell it all in one shot. Like
that's fair.
Growler's kind of a tough thing for us. So, also one of them broke once.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're just not very cool looking.
There's that.
They're
You
a
walk
little
around
Ren
with
Fair.
your
They're a little Ren
jug
Fair.
of wine.
Yeah, a little red
Yeah,
fair.
like-
I kind of like
Yeah.
the look of growlers.
The best thing is
Steph's got them all over her house.
All over her house. How many are
They
you
look
up to
pretty
now?
cool.
Like 700?
No, maybe 170.
Somewhere around
Close
there,
enough.
probably. Yeah.
A number between 1
They're
and
collectible.
1,000.
That's the thing, though.
Do they all have beer in them?
No,
No, they're all empty.
I drank all that beer.
Crowlers are great for actually storing. Yeah, grab more beer.
I prefer crowlers. personally.
For storing and keeping beer fresh and all that great stuff. But they're not collectible. I mean, you can save them. We've saved a couple at home.
Yeah.
They're awkwardly large for collecting.
They are. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're smaller than growlers, though. 64-ounce growlers.
Unless it's what's the thing at Hidden River? The 16-ounce growler.
Oh, the squealer.
The squealer.
Well, they have the little medicine bottle things. Those are
Oh yeah,
pretty
that's
cool.
what I was thinking of. The squealers.
Oh, yeah.
Also, a little Ren Fair. Well, a little more steampunk, I guess, than Ren Fair, but
we like
they're kind of cool.
I don't know where mine is.
It's on a shelf
Somewhere.
Yeah, I've seen it around. It's around.
Did you check under the bed?
I did. It's not there.
It's
You
not.
gotta
on the-
open that into the mic.
You're not the boss of me.
he's like,
So
he
he-
puts his mouth up like he's going to make the sound with his
That's
mouth.
what I thought he was going to do too.
Yes.
I can't do
I
it.
can't get this one open.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Get your knee out of the way.
He's like, I swear this doesn't happen often.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, this is very common.
Was this part of the kissing practice before?
This is phase 3.
So you
So you have
gotta
to-
wiggle it back and forth.
That's what she said.
So scale of 1 to 10, how impressed are you with us right now? Pretty impressed? 7, 8, 10? 10, right?
I get carried away there. 6 or 7.
Wait, you actually answered with a number?
I did.
Whoa, he's getting
Oh, the
serious.
headphones are off.
Oh, geez, here we go.
Uh-oh. Oh, he's getting a tool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, this is getting.
Oh, we
here
got
we go.
pliers.
This is getting serious. This is how Dan and I open beers at home. This is going to be a whole thing.
I trust him to be.
Oh, called it.
It's as though I've done this before.
Yeah. So let me ask you at this point,
Yeah.
given the current situation, corks, are they worth it?
Yeah. They look cool.
They
I was gonna say,
cool.
like,
They
as,
look cool.
As a beer
Are
drinker,
they
I
too
don't
red
like them.
fair?
I like the phrase corked and caged. I like to say, like, yeah,
That is
this
a
one's
cool
corked and
phrase.
caged.
Corked
yeah.
and caged.
So I
That
think,
is a cool phrase.
I think just for the language, just for the
Yeah,
rhetoric. Oh,
that's
my
true.
gosh.
Oh,
That's true.
no.
How's this going?
Well, even if there's
This
bits
is
in it,
going to
we'll
be a
still,
three-parter.
we'll
Yeah.
still drink
I'm
it.
just going to push it in.
okay.
What?
Just be very still. I'm just
So what else can we tell you about our brewery?
Well, okay, so we're struggling to open a bottle. What sort of packaging do you guys do? Do you guys just do like these 22-ounce bottles? Hey, I didn't spill that much. We've seen where. Oh no! Maybe not.
That was one of the easier bottles to get open.
You gotta fight for
man.
it.
Well, we're the Sharpies. We got to label that.
All right, I don't think we. There's
Also, we got to
actually
make sure the electronics are okay.
there's already spots on this thing from before. Anyway, it's fine. I think we mostly just got the tablecloth.
I mean, also that thing was like $20. So
You do have to label the stain, though.
Yeah.
That's the rule.
Yeah, the beer's more expensive than that.
well, what's the going rate for this bottle then?
After we made the mistake on the membership price, I'd like to know what you'd pay.
Oh, I haven't tasted
I'm the
it yet.
wrong person to
I
ask
haven't
because
tasted
like
it yet,
I'd say
so.
$5.
For a bottle like this, like 30.
See, we underpriced it again.
You could get
It's
30 for
25.
it.
25. I figured that was going to
you
be
could,
the
you could get 30 for it. 25 is probably
This
better.
is 2016 Wild American Dark.
Ooh, I see cork in mine.
The difference is
That's a mean
year
rumor.
and B, sour cherries. Organic.
Oh, I love the aroma. I love this aroma.
Are they organic?
I'm so glad I can smell.
I think they're factory processed.
No, we handpicked them.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we actually picked the cherries.
I forgot
Did
about
you really?
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Ooh. Oh boy.
Does hand picking a cherry make it organic?
Depends on if you've washed your
Not
hands.
legally, no.
Okay.
But it does make it more interesting. This is really nice. This is more puckery than the first one. This is definitely more tart.
The
like.
cherry really comes through though in the back end.
So if you were on Untapped right now, are we getting a 5? Are we a 5? Right? It's a 5.
don't rate
Yeah, a 5.
on Untapped.
I don't use Untapped.
Hey, that's weird.
Let's
neither
see if
do we.
I rated it the first time I checked
weird.
it in.
For the
Stuff
most
will
part
find
on Untapped, we just criticize people who have rated us.
I don't usually
That's
rate.
fair. That's fair.
And generally speaking, it's because they've rated us too high.
Right? Too
Yeah,
high.
We've
had to talk people
them
down. Yeah.
Be like, whoa, buddy.
So
like a
here's a
category.
question. So if you have roughly 7 to 80 CSA members priced at $200 and up dollars,
That's $1 million.
$1 million now,
Yeah.
do you have a limit for how many people you'll let do it?
Do you want to explain why we cap it at about 70 to 80
So
members?
you're pretty much at your max.
It's
now.
it's not a hard number, but it the logistics of actually servicing a CSA is more work than we want.
What
to
it
do.
means is that we have to put the beer in a car.
Yeah, we have
and
to
it
drive
gets
it
really-
around.
It gets really exhausting.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
That is a lot of work.
Yeah.
hauling 30 odd cases.
There's
of
no
beer
amount
back
of
and
money
forth.
that will make us do much.
No,
It's
I suppose like the CSA would get larger if we had lackeys.
sure.
Interns?
But then you would have to pay them.
well, if they're interns,
You
I don't.
interns, you don't
I
have to
don't
pay.
think a lackey you pay.
That's true. You can't have unpaid intern. Well, it doesn't matter to you guys, but you can't have unpaid interns if you don't have a physical commercial location.
Right now, we just have unpaid partners.
Well, that's kind of how it goes.
So these beers were brewed. That one was brewed in 2013.
Correct.
This one was brewed
In 2014.
2014. So what are you currently? What do you have in barrels? What's like? Are these beers that you continue to brew and
Yeah,
they'll
so
continue to come out?
We have a couple different barrel aged beers. We have the Belgian actually is a 90-day barrel aged beer that we're kind of always making. The one that'll be not the next beer, but the beer after the next beer. We always have a sour going, so we have a 2018 release that we're working on right now, and then we also have an apricot release that we're going to try after this one. So we're kind of we do a fair amount of barrel aging.
Plus, we have a cider that's been rotting away in a barrel. For,
Oh, that's right. We have a sour that's about 2 years into the
I
barrel.
think we made it in 1970.
Yeah.
Just forgot
We
about
made
it.
it out of shag carpeting.
Yep.
Very nice. I'd be interested to try that.
How many barrels do you have?
Thousands.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of the barrels.
I'm willing to bet it's less than both of those numbers.
I'm willing to agree.
We have a barrel aging room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This ongoing quest to
is
get a
it
serious
here?
answer to a question. It's so funny.
Are the barrels here or are they the other location?
They're
at Ice Avenue.
Ice Avenue.
Yeah.
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 Dun, 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 dun,
Does it
dun,
feel like
dun.
we're not being specific enough sometimes?
This is as specific as we ever
It's
are.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it
I
is.
gotta say, given what you have laid out as your sort of approach to your business, just standing around while things happen.
Yeah.
When was the last time you were on their Facebook page?
I looked earlier trying to get info like for the interview and everything.
Good luck.
And I didn't really understand what I was looking at.
nice.
I think that's what they want.
So
Okay.
there's an uncle somewhere, and,
We had a good week
and
this
there's
week.
a
We did have a good
Wikipedia
week.
article.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, you guys were like dark for what, a couple months?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was no family
There's nothing.
trouble.
Yeah, there's no family. We didn't have Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I think our approach to Facebook is largely. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we talk about it, it ruins the magic.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can leave the mystery. It's okay.
I think that there's a. Here's what I'll say. I think a lot of people take the brewing industry very seriously.
Really
this is an
seriously.
industry that is probably too serious.
I think
right?
some of those people are also making a shitload of money.
Yeah, they probably.
It's
yeah,
true.
yeah, and they're
It's
listening
true.
to music.
Oh yeah.
Some of them, however,
Hey.
are not.
If you make that kind of money, you can afford to buy all the CDs.
And I think when you look at the social media work that maybe some of our contemporaries use, it's very, very serious, and it's hard for any of us. I think we make a pretty good beer. I think it's hard for us to take what we're doing. I mean, we're making beer. Like we're not.
Also, that's when we say we're not we.
Yeah, it's the
we
royal
are
we.
making
That
beer.
royal
Right,
we
yeah,
is in reference to Aaron.
Right.
Right.
And it's also hard to take social media particularly seriously. It's hard to
Social
really.
media is really stupid.
And actually, I think the thing we've enjoyed the most.
As I'm currently tagging you on social media.
I think we've really enjoyed finding out that there's a very active community of people on Facebook who want to tell you how to use Facebook, and it's fun.
We've run across a few of those.
Yeah,
this
It
week.
was
we have-
cool reading those comments. I got to say,
we have a couple followers who really like to give us instructions on how to use social media, and I think we both feel really lucky to be able to engage them and
I think
hear their voices.
We're building a community one way or the other.
we really are.
It's true. It's true.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure any of the people who've been helpful in guiding us in the proper use of social media have ever had any of the beers.
I don't even feel like they drink. There's a
Doesn't seem
feeling.
like it seems like they should drink.
Again, one of them owns a company called Time and something, and it's THYME. So she's a marketing person.
Actually, she would be good at naming beer.
Back in time.
Yeah.
Time could be a good beer ingredient,
Yeah, but a terrible name.
unless it was back in time.
Nope.
Back in time.
Time.
Still, stop. Everybody, nope. Shut that down.
It's pretty rare I get to use that clip.
No.
Who is that, by the way? I never remember.
Brian from Sly Fox.
Oh, Brian from Sly. That's right.
Oh, Brian.
Oh, Brian. He was cool. I had fun there.
He's not Irish. It's not O'Brien.
The beer or the band?
Yes.
He likes music.
He does.
So, are you going to have a record player here? Since you're the second brewery ever to be into music.
And probably the first to have vinyl on premises.
Where am I-
We
where am I missing?
would probably have some way, of playing a record here. We would have that, and maybe an 8-track player.
Yeah.
I just made that part up.
An 8-track player.
We don't own an 8-track player.
Victrola.
We actually, Brandon owns a reel-to-reel. Is there a possibility we're going to have a reel-to-reel player here?
I have a
That'd be
disappointing number of reel-to-reel players.
Right. Yeah.
I have an embarrassing number of reel-to-reel players.
We had a
I'm
policy.
actually. How many do you have?
It's an embarrassing number.
But I want to know the number.
Yeah.
I don't even
So,
know what
I
an
mean-
embarrassing number of reel-to-reels would be.
I know. I think they're cool.
1 is cool. Anything above 1 is an embarrassing number.
5.
Well, you need one per room,
12.
obviously.
But the so yeah, I don't know.
You said 12?
We might. He said 12.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He said 12, and it was too low.
Anyway,
I was going to say, I think that's
Put
too low.
it, yeah, we'll probably have a number of different ways to get sound into the room.
So, what the fuck has been the hold up here?
It's like reggae.
Why aren't you open yet?
Why aren't we open yet? So when we
that's my bad.
Our at Fetish on the Farm, which is our annual big sexy farm party,
It was so sexy.
that was in September, and we were telling everybody in the lead up to it that we thought sometime in August we'd be open.
That
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Whoops.
is me laughing into the mic.
Yep.
Do you want to?
Well, then I think when we booked this, you told us that you were going to be open in like October or November.
Yeah.
Yeah, but remember how we don't answer questions
Yeah.
Correctly?
directly.
Accurately, right.
Yeah.
Why aren't we open, Brandon?
I just keep shitting it up. There's a host of reasons, but mostly because I just didn't get it done fast enough.
Nah, Rome wasn't built in a day. You're fine.
This is much smaller than that.
Well, I mean, it had to start somewhere.
Considerably smaller than Rome.
Yeah.
So knowing that it will be a few weeks till this episode comes out, so you have time, when will the...
How do you
Don't-
spell that
Don't
use
ask
of time?
Don't ask it.
Listeners,
in 2017?
Sure.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We're going to hold.
got 4 weeks left.
I mean, I don't understand why anybody would really want to know when we're open. I mean, like,
Because
I don't
they
know
wanna
that
come and
I
drink your beer.
don't. I don't know that that's really helping your public. There's a chance we're open in 2017. Probably.
We're going to hold our the December CSA pickup here.
Yeah.
On the 21st.
so that'll be kind of like being
That'll be
open.
sort of
Yeah.
sort of
Like
open.
the preview for the CSA members.
We
That's
went.
really cool.
We went ahead and got
Pre-open.
we got a permit to do that and everything.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
legal.
really?
Wow,
Yeah.
look at you guys.
I know.
We
Gone are
found
the
out
like
you need-
real business owners.
We discovered the wrong way that you have to have those things.
Yeah. we've
That's a
never
really funny
we've
story.
never intentionally broken a law, but we've broken so
my
many
goodness.
accidental laws.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about anything.
Yeah. We don't pay attention to things.
I guess if you were in the industry, you would know stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
it's better to ask forgiveness than permission?
We don't do either.
turns out
Yeah,
it turns out that's expensive.
We're over
Yeah.
2.
That
you
also
know?
doesn't hold up in court.
Well,
Yeah.
you're in the wrong court.
But the cops are great.
Yeah, they've been really great to
Yeah,
us.
they've been
All
really-
kidding. They,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yep.
we had a... Who did he work for?
The state police.
State police.
State police does that.
Two Fetish on the Farms ago, we found out afterwards that an undercover state trooper had come to Fetish on the
Bought a
had
ticket,
purchased
came
a
to-
ticket,
yeah.
come to Fetish on the Farm because he knew that we didn't have the right
Because we didn't have anything.
we didn't have anything legal, and he was there to shut it down. And he was there to kind of close out the whole party and shame us. And then he had the beer, and then he had Brandon's wife's food, and had such a nice afternoon. This is in his words that he decided to just let us go and then catch up with us later on.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
And then we had a great sit down with him, and
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he kind of laughed at us and said, "You guys are really stupid, but
You're the dumbest people we've ever
but
met.
you throw a good party."
Yeah.
Yeah,
We were one of 3 festivals he had to go to that day, according to him.
no, tough day.
Yeah.
In one day. Wow.
Or that weekend. I don't know.
wow.
How did the other two turn out?
He busted them all.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot
Those
of...
those,
I feel like you guys win.
those breweries are
unsanctioned
out of
activity.
they're out of business.
He
now.
brought the axes. He chopped open the barrels.
Yeah.
Oh man,
in the street,
And the street
flooding down the gutters.
Trooper Ness.
Prohibition.
It's like
2.0.
he opened that bottle.
hit a guy in the head with a baseball bat. It's very strange.
It would have been easier to open that bottle if I had just broken it.
This is true.
Why did we
Yeah.
even drink this?
How did you like the?
Actually,
the Wild
very-
American Dark?
This is really nice. I like
Yeah.
the first one. The first one drank a lot easier, but this one was much more, I think, interesting and complex. More going on with
I'm going to
it.
start to open up the next one.
Yeah, go
It
ahead.
might take 10 minutes.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna handle this one.
All right.
All right, that's probably a good idea.
What I do like about this one is the cherry flavor in the background, and you can tell it's natural cherry, which is great. It's not like any kind of like.
I can also
whatever.
tell that it was hand picked. I can
Yes.
pick that
Yeah.
up.
For sure.
I can taste the sweat.
We get the cherries from the same place that Coke gets their cherries for Cherry Coke.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I would have thought they had like an exclusive.
I didn't know if you were
deal on
serious
that.
for a second.
You even got a giggle from non-Aaron.
Yeah, you did.
He's easy. He's easy.
He opened this one very smart. He went.
I'm
right with the
literally
corkscrew.
not asking any more questions. You guys just have to tell stories because I'm done.
Steph has given up.
I'm just
No.
saying.
It's like, let's do another one.
Let's do
Ask-
another.
yeah.
Just one more. It's fine.
Ask
It's
me
it.
another.
No, that's seriously this time. This time I promise I'll answer it.
So here's a question:
Yeah.
Did you, knowing you guys love music, did you want to find a spot here in Rock Lidditz Plaza, or
We have to be delicate with this answer.
Yeah.
or
How
did it just
you end up
happen?
here? Yeah. That is a good question.
We were not specifically looking to be at Rocklet. Although they're great, it's great. We super lucky to be here. But they had approached us. And
Really?
Yep.
Did they just?
Hard to believe. I know.
No. I find it interesting that they would.
I'm pretty sure they were drunk at the time. On somebody else's much better beer.
Well, I don't know if I've heard of plazas like that approaching people. Normally, it's just like, "Hey, we have a spot for rent. Come to us. Like, we want you to."
We had done a little bit of work with them previously. They had heard about the CSA that we run, and they for the period of time we ran a Rock Lidditz specific CSA.
Oh, cool.
So we had worked with. They had come to us on that, and then there was we knew each other and what have you. And then when they had space, I guess they really needed the rent money.
Yeah.
We're now drinking 2017 Wild American Apricot, which is our apricot.
The
infused
aforementioned
sour.
apricot.
Also with hand-picked apricots
Tastes like a dryer sheet.
that are probably organic unless they aren't.
Yeah, we didn't handpick these.
Aaron did.
Oh, Aaron did. I'm just saying we, you and I.
Of course, Aaron.
You and
The
I.
royal we, yeah. There's
Aaron
that
did.
we again.
He does actually all the work.
That's fair. I mean, somebody has to.
Well, no, he's not here right now.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because he's working hard somewhere else.
He's doing more important things.
He's never not working. Yeah, it smells like a foot.
But a foot with apricots.
I think because it's sour, I think that's what it's supposed to smell.
It's so delicate, though.
Yeah, we know.
No, it smells. You know what it smells like? It smells like Lucky Charms.
That's not a great thing.
Yeah.
It does a little bit though. That's weird.
You know, ever
Or
since I
maybe
got
a
into the
Fruit
brewing
Loop?
industry,
Yeah.
I enjoyed cereal.
It's a lot of it's actually a lot of the same ingredients. There's a lot of FDC yellow number 5 in this.
I thought I
Really?
I
I
thought I
would've-
felt my sperm count going.
I would have
down.
pegged this at yellow number 7.
We did too.
Yeah.
This is really good. It's got a nice sweet fruitiness to it. Maybe that's that Lucky Charms you were talking about.
What other questions can we answer?
Yeah.
Let's answer questions.
Let's answer questions. Okay.
Steph is angry
She's
at us.
so pissed
Yeah,
off.
Steph is angry.
The funny thing is, here's what I don't understand about that. This isn't her first time with us.
Yeah.
And I don't know why she thought it was going to get better.
No, I totally knew what to.
Totally need to be prepared for
No,
this.
but in my defense, when I did interview you, you actually did answer questions.
All right, give it a try.
We'll,
did.
we'll,
Do
we'll answer a
another
question.
one.
Give us any question, we'll answer it.
Anyone.
I asked all my questions.
Think of another one.
I do have a question, though.
Sure.
So have sour beers kind of been your thing from like the beginning?
No, the ghost pepper beer was. From
Well, the ghost
beginning.
pepper was the first thing, but we've had a lot of sours. I've,
Yeah.
come across a lot of fetish
I want
sour.
to take a moment to recognize Steph. Like she listens. Like she pays attention.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I appreciate
like,
I appreciate what Steph puts into this relationship.
I know.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Well, no one will ever accuse me of paying attention. So fair enough.
I wish Steph understood how we feel about stuff.
I know.
I feel like that's.
I feel like we're just not communicating that properly.
She just assumes everyone feels that way.
You know, I
about
do
her.
got to say, you guys very satisfactorily answered my question. Thank you.
Well, okay. There's
There's
an
an actual answer.
Yeah, we have an
I
answer.
just
But we
wanted to-
wanted to be nice.
Wait,
to
they're
Steph.
fighting to answer
Let me
your
ask you a
question.
question. Why can't we talk nicely about Steph? Why does that make you feel uncomfortable?
Why don't
Why
you
do
like
feel like that's?
Because he's always had to live in my shadow his entire life.
Oh,
yeah,
let's
sure.
explore that.
Is that because you're taller or just better?
It's because I'm taller,
Older,
I'm better, and a month
wiser.
and a half older.
Better at most things.
Yeah.
except for returning belts, as we learned?
Yeah, well, no.
Yeah, she's
no,
0 for
because
1.
I
Hashtag
wouldn't
belt
have
fail.
even gone to the store. I would have just kept the broken belt and moved on.
Right.
I paid $15.
Actually,
That's a lot
yeah,
of money.
there is an old broken belt on the floor in our living room.
Oh, that's a really old broken
tell
belt.
that story.
Yeah. I replaced that belt when we went
I
to
know, I
Nevada
know.
this past summer, and the old one is still sitting around in the living room.
It's like a pants belt or a fan belt,
Yeah,
or
like a-
like a
Championship belt.
You know the tires of tanks.
wrestling belt.
I think
Those
that's-
like interlocking.
Yeah.
that's
it's one of those.
that's a track.
That's what it's called. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
So sours.
Sours.
We'll tell you all about it.
right.
One of the things when we started, I think we had a lot of we had a very fixed mindset about certain kinds of beers, including IPAs.
We hated it.
We hated IPAs, and I think part of it was
I never would have guessed.
part of it was the sort of morning DJ naming conventions of IPAs.
It goes
where
back
we're
to the
like,
words.
right? Like IPA mouth blast.
You should also know that Mike gets really pissed off.
I
about
get
fonts.
really angry about typography and stupid beer names. It drives me crazy. It really is an industry of great products with terrible marketing, right?
What's
really.
your least favorite name?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
That's
I mean,
a
I think
loaded
if you,
question.
I think if you just Google like
Or what's one that you remember that made your blood boil? If you can think of one in particular.
dogfish.
60 minutes. 120 minutes.
It's weird because we've never actually said anything negative.
No, we
about
actually
Dogfish
really
ever.
like dogfish. I just think my only take on
Like,
dogfish
there's
is that
we have no
They said
issue.
they like
with
music.
yeah, we like dogfish a lot, except for that stupid carrot beer. That stupid carrot beer is a stupid beer.
I will.
That's a stupid
I
beer.
will say when that came out, we
spent a long time
We
walking
spent a lot of time
around.
having some fun
Yeah.
with that. But outside of that,
I like getting drunk, but there's not enough carrots. What do we do?
this beer.
How do we make it work?
Wait, what, was that the one what was the one we dumped?
No, that was the 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
The 20th anniversary. I
Tastes
paid a
like
shit ton of
soy
money
sauce,
for that
right.
tiny little bottle, and we
Tastes
dumped
like
it
soy
out.
sauce. It's
I like getting
disgusting.
drunk, but my night vision's bad. What can we do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carrot beer.
Yeah. You know that's not true.
How am I gonna get all these?
That was a fabrication.
What is this, Mythbusters?
Yeah, this is Beer Busters. That was a fabrication by the British during World War II to hide the fact that they had invented radar from the Germans.
How are we gonna get all these bunnies drunk?
So I
So
think
carrot sour is next.
so we began.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah. Oh yeah, dog. Yeah.
Oh,
Hot carrot sour.
yeah.
Are we gonna call it sour? I still don't know why it's called Thoop. I don't know. I don't get it.
It's hot thoop.
I don't know why.
Because rabbits have those big teeth, so they can't talk right.
Are rabbits
that
making?
the-
Are we implying that
Wait,
rabbits are
no,
making the
that's-
beer? I don't understand.
That is completely rabbitist.
Or
Yeah. Do we
Are they
believe
doing
that
the marketing?
Is it the rabbits speak English and this is how they would pronounce English words? I don't understand.
I feel like if rabbits could speak and develop their own language, they would develop a language that would accommodate the shape of their mouth and
Right.
teeth, and only use words that they could say.
Right. I just don't get it.
Maybe because
And apparently cows can't spell either. Talking about poor marketing.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
So we kind of were hell bent on not making an IPA for a long time.
turns out you can't make any money if you
It
don't.
turns out you got to make IPAs.
That is true.
You're not the first
and now we
brewery
make
owner to tell us that.
now we make
Yeah.
about 7 different IPAs. But in the beginning, we were trying to figure out what we could do that wouldn't be an IPA, and so we were very saison heavy. We were very we had ghost pepper. We had we made a pumpkin that we thought we'd hate that we ended up loving. We were going in.
We were not going to make that
We
pumpkin.
just
Aaron
complained about that
backstabbed
pumpkin,
us.
and all of a sudden he made it, and it was really good.
We voted on it. We said no pumpkin.
To be fair, at the time, Aaron made this great pumpkin, but also made a horrible beer that was a sorghum beer.
Oh fuck!
It is the worst tasting. So we ended up calling that beer worst beer.
Oh, I had that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's garbage.
That is the,
It
that
is
is
the
Sorghum
worst
beers
beer.
are fucking terrible.
I remember that
Yeah, but
story.
this is worse.
the
I think I wrote about that beer in the article.
Yeah, and then these shitheads
Yeah,
keep coming into the brewery and drinking it, and then giving it like 2 stars on Untapped. That's a 0
no,
star beer.
we had people. That's to be fair, the Untapped story where we were like hassling people because they were ranking it. We had like a high, like a
It gets really frustrating when
like,
people
that's a
give
bad
you
beer.
good ratings on bad beers.
It's not even
Yeah.
fucking beer.
Yeah, it's garbage.
I know. I got really passionate there for a
Yeah,
second.
and the weirdest thing about
That's
that beer is that the color changed over time.
Everything
It
changed.
was like it got more and more purple
like
or something.
It started out tasting like ketchup, and then it was cardboard, and
Yeah.
then it was like a watered down bar.
yeah, and then people come in and be like, "That's not that bad. 2.5 stars. Fuck you."
Yeah, you're.
It has an average rating of 2.75.
That's too high. That's way too high. That should be a
No,
zero
it's a
star
zero
beer.
star
Right.
beer.
I didn't rate it.
Yeah.
There are definitely a couple ones in there where we told them to lower the rating, please.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so I think that one direction we wanted to go in was a direction that was maybe a little bit more interesting.
Oh, that's a music reference.
Yeah, good. Yeah, and so we went with Zach. Is that a One Direction member?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Probably they all have a Zach.
And so we decided to head in the direction of barrel aged beers broadly, and then we got really interested in what multiple year fermentation would be like, and that's how we got hooked on sours. I also think serious moment. I think I think a 3-year sour creates a unique opportunity in the market for us, and also I think that ours are better than most people's.
Also,
Most folks. Yeah.
Also,
folks don't know what we can do.
if you only have to bottle it once every 3 years, it's less work.
It's also
true.
it's also great because it costs the same to make, but you can just charge so much for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's the profit
That's true.
margin.
Yeah. Why do you think that? I feel like
Also, most people don't like sours.
I started off that way.
Sorry,
My mom hates this. Of all the beers that
Oh,
she
my
hates the most.
parents. Well, first of all,
I got one out for Thanksgiving. My mom was like, "Put that shit away."
Yeah. Why would anybody
And then
drink
she
that?
took the beer away too.
she said no. Bring the. Wow.
That's a wiener
Yeah,
joke.
it's a
Never mind.
Yeah, you heard it.
No, I want to hear it.
What was I going to say? I feel like just a few years ago, like sours were like the next big thing.
And then people tasted them.
Yeah, well, but it's weird because IPAs have always been super popular, and now you have this haziness going on. But like sours were like poised to be like the next big trend in beer, and it kind of
I think they still are.
but it never sort of crested that like.
It's hard to drink a lot of sour. Like, it's hard to like go to a
That's
concert
true.
and have
That's
15
true.
sours.
They're not. They're not.
like you end up
session,
like
as in,
diabetic.
And
long-term, yeah.
Brewers can't like
They're harder to-
release them constantly. You
That's
can't
true.
every Tuesday at 4 p.m. when they open their doors, they can't release 4 new ones in a can.
That's true. That's true. It's a very long turnover time.
Yeah.
Can't drink a
It's just
super
it's a limited
shit ton
number
of
of people
them.
who like them.
Yeah,
I mean,
guess. Yeah, that makes sense.
They're really
But it's
interesting.
it's a very dedicated group of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really interesting because
Like
the
us.
fact. No, not like us. They're interesting, I think, because they age and modify over time like wine. Like it's a sellerable beer. But again, like I mean, that's a really small segment of the marketplace that gives a shit about that. So
Yeah, I suppose.
and because it's sour, right, there's going to be a lot of people like generally they're dry, tart.
It is a hard style to sort of break into,
Right.
because it can come off as very abrasive.
Yeah.
Well, and the sour means so many things.
That's true.
Like
That's
when I
true.
think of a sour, this is what I think of. I think of something that changes over time, that sellers well. But now you have these sour IPAs and kettle sours and heavily fruited sours that almost taste more like tart juice than even beer. And to even just say sour beers anymore, well, what does that mean? It's such a wide range. Where I feel like what you guys are doing, more specifically Aaron, is you're being true to what the word when applied to beer is meant to mean, if that even makes sense.
It made sense to somebody.
I'm tempted to answer this again with a real answer.
You're starting to get through to Mike.
You're
I
really
like how he gets more serious
Yeah.
as we go on.
Yeah.
It's usually the opposite.
I'm really. Never mind.
Can we smoke in here?
Yeah, you can. I'm really drunk right now. I'm very drunk. And
I've got to pee.
yeah, I know. Yeah. I don't have an answer. I'm sorry. I think to Aaron's credit, I think Aaron
really
is
drunk
very
right now.
is very influenced by brewers in Belgium. I think he's really interested in technique. I think he's really interested in. He's definitely interested in ancient production methods. He's definitely interested in alternative fermentation methods. And I think that some of what comes out in the way that we've made these sours and some of what comes out in the way that he barrel ages and the fact that he's interested in making satis and things like that is just that he's... I think his influences come from a slightly different place. And that's maybe why this tastes more like a classic sour, if that's really a thing.
Yeah. That makes
What
sense.
is Aaron's brewing background history?
He's been brewing for a while.
It shows.
Thanks. Glad
that-
I asked another question.
That's. I don't actually know how long he's been brewing. You're asking questions. Sometimes we don't answer.
We
because
don't really know.
I want to put it. He's been brewing for 15
Yeah, I think
years.
about 15, 20
Since
years.
the beginning of brewing.
Yeah, since the beginning. He invented water.
Can we have the Belgian now?
We can
You wanna
drink
have
that
another
while we'll drink that while we're playing the game.
Okay. I guess while we're passing the beer around, we should probably start playing a game.
Let's play the game.
Wayne, you got
not?
it queued up?
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
good to go. Cheers, internet.
Guinness?
Guinness? What?
What happened there?
What happened?
I don't know what the game is.
I don't know what the game is.
Oh, you're about to find out.
It sounds like a Doctor Who game.
It does kind of sound like Doctor Who, actually. I never really thought of that.
Yeah.
Welcome to Happy Fun Time Games.
I like it more now.
This is the only podcast trivia segment that tastes pretty good, but often leaves you feeling bloated. Today, we are playing everybody's favorite Happy Fun Time game, which is libation or fabrication. This is
We're
the
gonna
game in
This
which
is a game in which Wayne only worked on it late last night.
actually that and on the drive here.
Are we going to guess if it's a real beer or a fake beer?
How did you guess?
I figured you were just ignoring me on the way here.
I really like this, by the way.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That is pretty nice. So yes, I'm going to tell you the name of a beer, and you're going to guess whether it's real or fake, and we'll.
No way we get these right.
I'm going to get them all right.
Round
100%
robin.
chance I nail this.
When's the last time
All
you
right.
drank somebody?
You want to
else's
put?
beer?
You want to put?
I drink a
some-
lot of bourbon.
You want to put some money down on that?
$1,000 million.
$1,000 million that you'll get everyone
$1,000
right.
million.
Yeah.
No,
All right.
everyone wrong.
We're gonna. I'll bet you the brewery.
All right, no, we're gonna do 1,000. We're gonna bet the brewery.
Loser gets the brewery.
All right, wait, loser gets the brewery.
Yeah.
Seems fair.
I feel like it should be between you guys. So
Okay.
whoever,
Oh, you're on, you son of a bitch.
whichever one of you gets the least amount correct, has to take full ownership of the brewery, and the other one gets to walk away.
Loser
hands-free.
gets nose kissed.
Loser gets Aaron.
Oh, that sucks.
Wow.
That
Oh,
sucks.
poor Aaron.
No, his personality is terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's super hot.
He's really attractive.
Yeah.
When he takes his shirt off,
Usually how it
it's-
goes.
Chicks dig him.
He's very attractive. The thing with Aaron is that he's incredibly attractive, but very difficult to speak to.
Aaron's like a very attractive dude, and then there's us.
No, I mean you guys look like guys that should own a brewery.
That's why you guys are doing the podcast. He's doing the video stuff.
That's true.
We're gonna do a calendar.
Faces for radio. We will begin in time-honored tradition. To my left with Dan. The first
yeah.
name of the game is.
Oh.
Is this real or fake?
Brandon's got a
I
question.
have a question.
Yeah.
So do we go
It's
in
pretty
turns?
straightforward.
We just go in turns.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
We don't have to. Slap
not buzzing in?
We don't buzz in.
We're gonna slap
We're
in.
gonna go round robin, and I'm gonna
Alright.
the first
Don't
person
worry,
to go
you'll know when it's your turn.
is gonna move each round for
It's
the.
okay.
the
You can do
session.
this.
He hates
I mean,
you.
I appreciate the clarification because there is a lot on the line.
They're patronizing you.
A multi-million-dollar business is on the line in this game. So
Whatever's going on in that other bigger building.
Ah.
that's secret place. Dan, this is the
Hi.
real beer or is this fake? It's called Bach Lobster.
God. I want it
They're
to,
all puns.
I want it to be real, but I think it's fake.
All right, Dan is saying that's fake. Brandon, what do you think?
It's so dumb. It has to be real.
So dumb it has to be real.
Chalk
Mike.
lobster.
Yeah,
is a
my
dogfish
general
beer.
feeling. My general feeling about.
Get it? Because they're so into music.
Yeah, I know. My general feeling about a beer is if it has a pun that sounds like it was created by, say, a third grade teacher trying to explain what puns are, then it's probably a pun. Probably a real beer. I'm going to go with real.
All right, Mike is
Yeah.
saying real.
I think it's real.
Dan also saying, or Steph,
What's my name?
wow. Steph also saying real.
Steph, how come you don't like us more? Because we call you Steph.
Yeah, why don't you hate him more than you hate us?
She does. Don't worry.
I do.
Dan
I hate everyone.
is the only one who's correct because it is fake.
Hey!
Unfortunately,
Hey,
not.
good news. We can make that beer.
Yeah.
You can. You can.
Do it.
Buy that website right now. GoDaddy.com.
I have a fun fact.
Bach lobster fetish.
Ready for a fun fact?
Yes.
The song Rock Lobster was featured in, among other films, the 1989 movie Lobster Man from Mars.
That wasn't that much fun.
Lobster man from
I found it
I think
very
you
fun.
oversold how much fun that fact would be.
I listen, I enjoyed it, and that's what this is all about. Moving on to our next name of the game, and Brandon is going to guess first on this one. Is this real or fake? This is called Circumcision Ale.
I want that to be real so badly.
You're going to say it's real?
Yeah.
All right, saying it's real. Mike, what do you think?
So I spent some time today on.
Don't puss out.
Do you
I knew
know?
there'd be a story.
Do you know the? Have you ever been to www.twitter.com?
Yes.
No.
It's a social media website. It's one of our one of our content
No,
platforms.
I use the app.
They even have,
with
they have an
that, yeah.
application for it.
So I was thinking today about the fact that we're in a very complicated political time with sexual harassment and things of that ilk, and there's a number of beers that are named Panty Dropper or Panty Waster beer,
Panty
right?
peeler, yeah.
And I got to tell you,
Leg humper.
yeah,
Tilt
that
lifter.
doesn't feel right to me.
Oh no!
and
Well,
my-
there was a whole thing.
There was.
Hang on, I'm getting there. And my sense is that, again, a lot of radio DJ style men are brewing beer and naming beer.
Like us.
And so if we get into a realm of like sad sexual desperation in terms of naming, and this is coming from Fetish Brewing Company, and you're drinking Dominant Fetish right now, my guess is that it's going to be a real beer. So I'm going with real.
All right.
Yeah.
I like the meticulous backstory to these answers.
I'm a thinker.
He's a chronic foot.
Speaking of which, you've already gotten one wrong, so 100 million is owed. Steph.
Real.
Steph is saying that's real, and finally, Dan.
What was it again? I'm sorry.
It was called Circumsession.
Circumcision. Real.
Dan saying real. Everyone is correct. It is, in fact, real.
It's funny because it sounds like penis stuff.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Oh, it gets better. It's a barrel
What
aged
if he named the last one Cock Lobster?
cock lobster. I should have named the last one cock lobster. Thank you, Steph, for adding to my notes while I'm reading. Circumcision
What's that,
Ale is a barrel-aged tart pomegranate wit from Schmaltz Brewing Company in Clifton Park, New York.
Every one of those
Schmaltz.
words.
Schmaltz
Wait,
sounds
no,
like-
they brew the Star Trek beer.
They do.
Yeah.
They brew several Star Trek beers.
Every
Yeah.
one of those words was made up.
They also have a long history of producing beers that cheekily celebrate their Jewish roots. Circumcision actually started out as an April Fool's joke
Now I can't make fun of anything.
in 2015, but they decided to turn that joke
Upside down.
into a reality. In the initial phony press release, proprietor Jeremy Cohen said, "After this brutal Northeast winter, couldn't we all use a few great spring beers?" And one big release distributed all over the country based on a dick joke.
It sounds like he's coming all over the country.
sounds
Yeah,
gross.
there's layers. There's layers
There
of
shouldn't be.
what's going on here is a little pervy. Moving on, and Mike is going
Yes.
to guess
Yeah, I am.
first
not a
on
guess.
this one correctly. I predict. This beer is called Pathological Lager.
No pressure.
I love it.
Pathological lager.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
I've
come
said
on, come on, come on.
real twice. I'm going to go with fake. I'm going to go with fake.
All right,
Yeah.
Mike going with fake. Steph, what do you think?
Real.
Steph is saying that's real. Dan.
It sounds real.
Dan saying it sounds real, and finally Brandon.
I believe whatever Mike believes
So you're saying fake.
in all things.
All right, fair enough. Brandon and Mike are the only ones who are wrong because it was
That's
in fact
about right.
real.
That's about right.
Dick. This beer
trusted
comes
you.
from Philly's own Dock Street Brewing Company.
Hey!
Feels like we should have done that.
Released in October of 2016, mere weeks before the
you heard of
timeline skewed into this dystopian tangent we now live in. Pathological Lager was part of the Friends Don't Let Friends Vote Trump
yeah.
series. Yeah, it's actually a fruited saison, not a lager.
Hashtag politics.
But
Which
as we
is
are now
why
all
it's a liar.
painfully aware, facts don't matter. Dock Street says, "You want a lager? I'll give you a lager. No one brews lagers as well as I do, and I'm going to brew it with saison yeast and lemons, and you're going to pay for it."
See, that I like. That's
Yeah, that's
what's
fun.
going on here?
My cans fell off.
Your headset
Lost
is
my
all-
cans.
Oh, man.
I lost my cans.
I'm fine.
Grab it by the glass.
I can
Moving
still hear
on.
everybody.
He doesn't
Like,
like
it's
the music.
strange.
You look like an idiot.
Well, that's with or without that.
It looks like
stuff.
you one of those like safari hats that are dangled on by the
Banana Republic.
yeah. Well, yeah.
I got to tell you, two words that don't go well together are dangled and banana.
Well,
Or don't they?
Well, I mean, how did bananas? They're on trees and they dangle, right?
Steph, tell me
hand
if
motion
these
you're
words
making.
go together well enough to be the name of an actual beer.
okay.
This is hopped
Dangling
and
banana.
decocted concoction.
Oh my gosh.
What is it?
Hopped and decocted concoction.
Oh my gosh.
Is that real or fake?
This is the worst industry in the world. Somebody get me a handlebar mustache.
I always say, like, my
Stats.
rule for this game is I always say real, but if that is a fucking real. I'm going to say real just because I always say real, but I fucking hope it's not real.
All right, Steph is saying it. She's reluctantly saying it's real.
I'm
Dan.
reluctantly crouched at the starting
I was
line.
waiting for you to say that. See, I was gonna say real because I didn't think you would have time to make up two fake beers.
That's fair enough.
But that sounds fake as fuck.
It does sound fake as fuck.
I'm sorry. I'm going fake. I'm going fake.
All right, Dan is saying it's fake.
Ooh, this is my chance.
This is your chance. You only get one shot. Brandon.
You're going to lose yourself.
I was going to say.
Yep.
The music. The moment.
No.
You own it.
My cans fell off.
Yeah. What you might not realize, guys, is that like I really like music.
Would you say you're obsessed with it?
I'm obsessed.
It's not healthy.
From the day I started brewing,
Yeah.
I discovered music. Its rhythms and its tones.
It's
Syncopation.
it's pitches.
So
with-
it's cocked and decocted.
no.
Focaccia bread. It's a
Focaccia.
focaccia bread beer.
It's a
I like
hopped
that.
and decocted concoction. That's kind of
totally.
focaccia.
It's totally real.
It's
No,
totally-
it's not. I'm just kidding.
No, it's totally
because you
fake.
can never get that on a label. What idiot would try to put that on a label?
Well,
What?
Okay, fair enough.
I'm going to go real for two reasons. One of which is I don't think you're smart enough to invent that one, and two because
All right.
I got stuff back. It took me a while. And two, it's so bad that it would have to be real.
Well, Mike, Steph, Dan,
Yeah.
Brandon. This is the tensest moment in Happy Fun Time Games history.
Yeah.
I don't even want to tell you guys the answer.
Well, that's the whole point of the game. There's
Yeah.
no other reason to play
I mean, I
this.
guess
So-
if you don't want to.
Wait a minute.
I don't want to know.
I'm looking at your notes right now.
Yeah.
I've got a lot riding.
I
Yeah.
know.
Dan has gotten
So
everyone
do I.
right. If Dan gets this one right,
He gets the brewery.
Clean
he
sweep.
gets the brewery.
Clean
goodness.
sweep. I get a brewery.
Yeah.
I won't know what the fuck to do with it, but I'll have
Dan,
one.
I just got to ask you.
You guys will keep your jobs. You're fine. Aaron, on the other hand, I don't know.
We don't even work here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, never mind.
They just have the keys. Would you want to own a brewery, or would you sell it?
I'd probably sell it.
You probably sell it. What do you guys think you'd get for it?
25
$20.
bucks.
Lots.
I'd get one bottle of beer. Great, thanks.
One bottle of beer, $25. Dan,
I'll just keep it so I can get free beer.
add $25 to your bank account.
Yes!
It is fake.
Yeah.
It is not real. You are wrong.
He invented it. He's smarter than I thought.
Not only did I invent it, I invented it on the car ride here. It is not a real beer, but it is super fun to say.
Wait a minute. Didn't you drive here with Steph?
Nope.
No,
with me.
Dan.
You're the Philly guys.
Yeah, we're the Philly
Right,
guys.
okay. Hey,
After I invented
Hot
it,
take. Philadelphia. Terrible city.
Oh.
Just the worst.
I
Just
just
the worst. Garbage
discovered that
Man, it's such a shame that my hard drive is going to have a problem after this episode.
decoction
Well, we don't
concoction.
believe in marketing, so it really doesn't affect us at all.
Yeah. Nobody
Yeah.
who drinks our beer.
Nobody's going to come to your podcast because Fetish Brewing Company's on it. They're going to be like, oh, those guys are the jerks on Facebook.
Yeah. And in person.
Wow. I think we need to fire our producer.
You misspelled ridiculous.
In last place,
I'm starting off last.
with one single solitary point, who is so upset he's now leaving the podcast,
This sucks.
is Mike.
I'm going to tell you right now, this wasn't fair, and I have other feelings.
This is
but my
ambush.
wife
Do
may
you
leave
demand
me.
a recount?
This is ambush journalism.
Ambush quizzing.
No. Listen, hanging chads, man.
Hold on,
Thank
you
you
can't
guys
leave
very
till you
much.
sign
Hanging
the
Thank you,
tablecloth.
In second to last place with 2 points apiece, Brandon and Steph. And in first place with a perfect score is Dan. This is, of course, the part of the podcast where we shout out to our
Perfect
most
score, and I own a brewery now.
awesome patrons on Patreon, people who keep this train running, like Eric Dixon, Joe Mansell, the one and only That's No Baloney, Brian Mills, Oak Brook Brewing Company, Wolfgang von Colt, Jen McDonald, Maryland Engelman, Josh Price, Ron McDonald, Victoria Miles, and 2 new names.
Yeah.
One upgraded donation from James Lamberg, who
Thank
has
you.
decided to become a little more generous and now gets his name on the podcast, and a new patron,
Uh-oh.
Drum roll. Sloan Peterson.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. To find out how you can get on this list and get other cool perks like our bonus podcast,
Last Call.
Go to patreon.com/beerbusters. Sign up to become a patron. Dan, what do we do now?
Well, I own a brewery. I don't know about you.
Oh, so you don't have to pay your tab.
I don't have a tab, but you can pay yours if
Steph
you
and
want.
I still have to pay a tab, so let's pay our
Yeah.
tab.
Hey, by the way, it's time to renew the license.
Say, Yvonne, remember when I said I'd have to send away to NASA to calculate your bar tab?
Oh, yeah. We all had a good laugh, Mo.
The results came back today. You owe me $70 billion.
Hey guys, today's episode is brought to you in part by our friends over at Secret Hopper, an innovative new mystery shopper service for breweries. It's an idea that was created out of the love of 2 things, beer and the experience of sharing it. Breweries are attempting to differentiate themselves in an increasingly crowded market, and Secret Hopper can help you improve your customer experience. You can see their brewery from the other side of the bar by visiting secrethopper.com/beerbusters. Sign up to get secret hopped when you can find areas to improve, new areas of opportunity, monitor changes in your customer habits, and learn to grow from it. That's secrethopper.com/beerbusters to get started today.
This episode is brought to you in part by Loot Crate, a monthly subscription box service for epic geek and gamer items and pop culture gear. For less than $20 a month, you get 6 to 8 items that include licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique and one-of-a-kind items, and so much more. You have until the 19th of every month at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate. And when the cutoff happens, it's over, it's done, it's gone, you missed it. By supporting Loot Crate, you are, of course, also showing your support for Beer Busters podcast. You can sign up at trylootcrate.com/beerbusters and enter the promo code BRIDGE10 to save 10% on any new subscription. That is trylootcrate.com/beerbusters. Enter the promo code BRIDGE10, like the bridge of the Enterprise, to save 10% on any new subscription.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
I didn't want to hit the other one because, I mean...
Oh, we didn't do the first one,
We
did
didn't technically do a segment. We just drank
we
while
just
we
kind of
were...
went into
Oh,
it.
that's fine.
Which flowed very well, I
It's
will
fine.
say that.
It's fine.
So there may be some format changes coming up.
Round 2 fight.
There, somebody did it.
This is a pretty good approximation, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
that works.
We're drinking more beer.
We are.
We are drinking more beer. What
So,
are...
not Aaron. What
Not
are we
Aaron.
drinking?
This is the Belgian.
Look at the bottle again.
I really want to make sure. This is a Belgian 60. It's a Belgian strong pale ale. Barrel aged for 60 days, hence the 60.
That makes
I
sense.
thought you were going to say years.
No, because we're.
Oh, this is very Belgian. It is. It's like super. It's got like that sweet.
I feel like we've done this one right then.
Yeah.
It's super good, though, but it's Belgian, and it's high in alcohol.
I mean, disclaimer: we make it in Lancaster, so it's a Belgian style, but it's not an actual.
It's not
Belgian.
actually from Belgium.
But-
No, we didn't import it.
call
I was going to say
shenanigans.
something nice about it, but now I don't think I am.
Ooh.
Go ahead. You can go now.
No, I think it's really drinkable, and it's spiced, but it's subtle, and it's quite delightful. I
It's
like
also
it.
8.8%, so it'll get you drunk.
Oh,
It
Yeah.
is 8.8. I'm surprised. The dominant, the double IPA that we had during everyone's favorite segment of the podcast, Happy Fun Time Games, was 8.4.
Chair.
Your chair has the farts.
Wow.
Trust
Which
me,
I didn't
I would own up
realize.
to
I
it.
guess it's a double IPA. That makes sense.
Every beer we've had
Has been over 7.
It rounds to 8 or 9.
The interesting thing is this is the first time in this podcast that I've actually looked at the ABV of all the beers that we've had, which I feel like is something we should do more often because it's kind of a fun reveal. Well,
so there's Belgian 60. Is there Belgian 90 and Belgian 120?
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Because you guys also love music. You share that in common with another very popular brewery.
Yeah. And you've discovered that adding hops to beer is...
This is embarrassing to admit, but I never really made the connection to the Dogfish series
I wouldn't have either.
before
to
right
be
now.
honest.
I feel like I'm kind of
You
dumb.
like totally just got caught off guard.
Yeah,
That's pretty
That
awesome.
really hit me out of nowhere. No, there was originally just Belgian Fetish, and then we scraped together $100 and bought a barrel, and then we were like, this would be a candidate for barrel aging.
Just out of curiosity, what was the barrel?
It's made of wood.
Gee, thanks.
I know it's a French joke. That, for the record, that wasn't me who said that.
I know.
The barrel, it's a French oak Cabernet barrel.
Okay.
All
All
right,
right.
fair.
I can get behind that.
I'm a fan. Like Belgians, I kind of feel like Belgian styles, like
I was going to say it's not a Belgian, it's a Belgian style.
no Belgian styles, like can go for me. Like I generally like them, but I do sometimes, and I know Steph, like it's not one of your favorite styles, and sometimes you find them a little too cloying,
Yeah.
and sweet. And I get that sometimes, like in the darker ones. I think
That's how people describe Mike.
cloying, yeah,
And-
yeah, I can
and
see that.
sweet.
It's not fair. He's not here to
Cloyingly
defend
sweet.
himself
Oh,
anymore.
that's his own fault. Chair.
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 I thought that was Mike breaking in.
But
No, this
I do like
I
this
think
one.
this is actually my of the beers we make. This is my favorite.
When was the last time you guys made the Kolsch? 'Cause that was one of my favorites.
We typically brew the Kolsch in the wintertime, so that we can just leave the windows open for lagering.
You cracked yourself up there.
that's pretty clever.
That's not a joke. That's a real thing.
yeah, I mean, got to save money somehow.
Well, we also have a limited amount of cold space.
That's true, yeah.
At the Ice Avenue location.
And here.
So anyway, we make that every. The Kolsches are summer seasonal, and so we make it in the winter and serve it starting in May or June. I forget.
Now, if you're going to have 16 taps here, 16, right?
14.
14. Fuck. That's a lot of beers. Do you have enough?
No.
I'm trying to think of. I mean, I've had many, many different fetish beers, but I know a lot of them you don't make year round.
Oh, we have enough recipes. I mean, we have. I don't know.
Like you've made 14 beers.
I've made 0 beers.
Well, okay. Fetish has made 14 beers.
We've made. I think we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 or 30 recipes of beers that we like and make. I would say in a given year we probably make more than 14. This space is a little bit bigger. The production size, as small as it is actually bigger than our current space.
Right.
And we'll continue brewing out of both locations. So at some point we'll use all the taps, maybe, probably. No. Actually, 2 of those taps are also reserved for craft soda.
Ooh,
at this point.
Really?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Made by
Pepsi.
It's not craft. It's like saying craft beer and then saying, here's a Budweiser.
It's a really small location for Pepsi.
Yeah.
Nano Pepsi.
Yeah, Blue Moon.
No,
the original Crystal Pepsi from the 90s.
Like
I
what was
love
it?
Crystal Pepsi.
Small Town Brewing or whatever.
Here's the thing. I kind of like some of their stuff.
Don't even.
I know.
Don't.
Like what you like.
Here, how would you like this? My most viewed review ever.
Oh God,
It's probably not your father's.
Not your father's root beer.
Because
Absolutely.
it came out of nowhere.
How much do I hate that that's the article that comes up?
That
as
is
the most
is not only. I think that is not only the most viewed review. I think that's the most viewed post on our entire
Probably.
website.
Listen, it's a guilty pleasure for sure. Also, their Mountain Dew one's pretty good. Mountain Ale. It's enjoyable. Anyway, sorry.
And I,
they're.
I reviewed it before it came out that they were not in fact Small Town Brewery.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I digress.
Anyway, craft soda by, not by Pepsi.
That's his way of saying I don't know.
No, by us. No, we.
Oh, you're going to
Are
make
you gonna
the
make it?
soda? That's awesome.
Yeah, we've made craft sodas for a while.
That's
Flavors.
Have you really now?
We every year at Fetish on the Farm, it's just finished its 5th
year
happening. I don't know, right?
Happening.
Version 5.0. That's
Yeah.
I really wish I hadn't said that. But we always supply sodas that we make as the non-alcoholic option, or
cool.
for kids, or I don't know, people don't want like beer, which happens. So
I mean, I happen to enjoy both. Just saying.
we Aaron's made a really good ginger beer, the yuzu soda that doesn't taste like soda.
That's cool.
But aside from being the non-alcohol option, I think because we can also serve Pennsylvania liquor, spirits.
Oh yeah.
And then
You can make mixers.
right,
Yeah.
we would use them as mixers. For
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Definitely. That's cool.
I'm a sucker for a real good craft root beer. I love it so much.
I think root beer and ginger are the two like really.
You know what too, and
Yeah,
as
to
kind
do
of
a
like
craft soda.
as kind of like corporate-ish as they are, but still sort of craft. Appellation, their white birch is delicious.
Oh, they make great craft
Yeah.
soda. Yeah.
Kate May makes.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the one we
They had
Is
the
it
like
blue?
caramel macchiato?
macchiato.
Oh,
soda.
the coffee one.
Yeah,
that was
Yeah,
really
that
cool.
was great. Oh
That was
my
really
God.
good.
Oh, that was
That was
one of
really
our
good.
first Facebook Live videos and last.
It was.
Yeah.
I did one tonight.
Did you?
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, good. That means me in that sweater at that place we went with Mark Graves won't be our first video to show up anymore because it's been up there for like a year, like literally a year.
No, no. Sorry, I did an Instagram live video, not Facebook live. Sorry.
No, that's still
So,
our
yes,
latest video on Facebook, and it was like literally, it was Christmas time last year.
Remember.
Full disclosure, I hate root beer.
Do you really?
Oh, you are not American, sir.
I thought you were gonna say you're not a man.
I don't really like root beer.
There's a chance I'm neither.
I feel like root beer is one of those things like I think it's like cilantro. We're good. Yourself.
Well, there's not a gene that makes it taste like
No,
salt.
but I feel like in the same vein, like there's
I see what
certain
you're saying.
people like it tastes like medicine to certain people.
I also
Like,
don't
is
like-
that why you don't like it? Does it taste medicinal to you?
I can drink like a root beer float. No,
But,
it
like-
doesn't taste medicinal.
No?
It tastes like root beer.
I don't like soda
yeah.
though. I really don't drink
Yeah.
soda at
Okay.
all. Like I don't like Coke or Pepsi. Ugh. Like
I like a good Coke.
Yum.
Hey guys, speaking of things we don't like, we're drinking a pumpkin beer.
yes, I fucking hate pumpkin beers.
We all hate pumpkin beers.
You or Mike had said earlier that you guys didn't want to make a pumpkin originally. Why did you actually make it then?
Because Aaron made it and he makes all the beer.
Okay. Had you discussed not wanting to make one with
Yes,
him?
loudly.
And he just
And he said,
fuck
"Fuck
it.
you,
I
I'm
don't care. I
throwing
make
it."
the beer, so I'll make whatever I want.
Aaron's not very confrontational, so he never. I don't think he ever.
So this is his.
I don't think
like-
he ever says "fuck you" out loud.
All right.
But he just made one. The problem with pumpkin beers, aside from that they exist,
Everything.
is that typically they end up tasting like a coffee you might get at Starbucks in October.
Yeah.
And but a lot of it has to do with like a lot of breweries, and I'm not really trying to shame anybody or like make your beer how you make your beer,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of syrups involved and what have you, and which is a thing we avoided.
There's a lot of surfs.
surfs. Yeah, the beers are literally full of peasants.
Yeah.
No, the syrups.
It's a very cheap flavor additive
yeah,
in strong supply.
Soylent beer.
right.
He actually said syrups, which you avoided.
I know. I'm
Syrup.
sorry.
Syrup gate.
Pumpkin beer is people.
Various people.
So anyway, he made it and it's good. I mean, I don't want to say that out loud, but it is. I don't like pumpkin beer. But
You're
I like
allowed.
ours.
You're allowed to say that you like it.
It's almost fruity. It's not. I don't know. Like it's like earthy, herbal, and fruity. It's not very pumpkin beerish. I
We
don't
actually get the cherries from the same place that Coke does for their cherry soda.
think. Oh, that'll do it.
No, it's
Do you get the cocaine from the
there's
same place?
there's actual no that guy's in jail.
They didn't actually use cocaine. They used the leaf of the plant.
It's the same thing.
The
Not really.
there's actual pumpkin in it. Which,
Oh, really?
Shockingly adds zero.
That's very
I was gonna
rare.
say why.
Yeah.
There's
what's the
zero.
point?
Just because.
There's zero flavor in
Yeah.
pumpkin. It's mouthfeel.
Oh, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
It is, and I don't know how to describe what I'm going to say, but it's very distinct from other pumpkin beers.
But not at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it still has.
It ends up tasting like a pumpkin beer.
I mean, it has that fall spice character to it, but I don't know, and maybe it's just because I've had a bit of a sore throat lately, so maybe my tasting is a little off. I don't know, but no,
There you
Also,
go.
there's four
There you
four
go.
other beers in your glass right now.
that's true. That's true. I haven't
So
been rinsing
it-
as properly as I should.
So
have.
it tastes like a Sprite.
Or at all.
It might
Yeah.
taste better
Tastes
then.
like a Sprite.
All right, do you want to wrap this shit
So
up?
there's one more bottle, so I say we save that for last call.
Yes.
So
Wrap
let's do this.
the proper episode. Do quick last
So
call.
if you want to follow Fetish, good luck because they have 3 fucking different handles because they can't like make it consistent. Facebook,
and also,
it
you're
is-
not going to learn anything useful anyway. So.
Well, no, just follow them on Facebook because currently it's been quite entertaining. Facebook is Fetish Beer. Twitter is at Fetish Brewing. Instagram is at Fetish Brew Co. And fun fact, none of those are their actual business name.
So, what is the actual business name?
Fetish
Artisanal
Artisanal Ales.
Oh my god! I see why you go with Fetish Brewing as your like alias. Then
And keep a watch on all things Beer Busters because we will let you know as soon as they are open, even though they don't want to tell you.
that is very true. Very.
Anything
very true.
else you want to share with the masses before the actual episode ends?
My wife is pretty and she's really nice.
There you go.
Good
That's
to know.
it. Yeah,
I'm happy for you.
I approve.
For the win.
Yes. Don't forget Beer Busters at Beer Busters on Twitter and Instagram.
Beer Busters podcast on the Facebook.
That's right.
Go to patreon.com/beerbusters.
And
Call that number, which is
805-991 beer, which is 805-991-2337.
What area code is 805?
In Minnesota, I think.
Fair. We're not in Minnesota.
We're not. Google Voice though made it easy to get that number.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, my friend,
Unfortunately,
this brings us.
does bring us to the end of another episode of Beer Busters. And seriously, thank you for having us out here. This was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. We had a good time.
Yes.
I didn't have my headphones on. So
That's
I
fine.
didn't-
Dave,
all right.
you couldn't. We were.
I tried
it
to
was
project
silent.
enough that
We
you
were.
could hear
We were
without.
singing your praises.
It was
Yes.
mute.
Yep.
Yes. And also, big thanks to Mike. Even
Thank
though
you,
he
Mike.
left for dinner.
Thanks,
Jerk.
Mike.
Mike sucks.
I'm hungry as well.
Just a reminder, this is not the end of the evening. If you want to hear the rest of it, you can go to patreon.com, sign up to be a patron, and listen to Last Call.
That is right. Well, my name is Dan Baker. I am joined, as usual, by my co-host and brewologist.
Steph Hefner.
And the demented and fermented.
Wayne Baker.
No squids were harmed in the making of this episode, and we'll see you next time.
But I was harmed in the making of this episode.
Pumpkin beer is people.